Hi, my name is Jay Spencer. I'm the owner of French Press Bakery and Cafe right in Needham Center behind Town Hall. We've been in business for over 9 years, so we've seen a lot of change within Needham, kind of come and go in terms of people, clientele, and so forth. We are a massive supporter of the neighborhood housing plan for many reasons. The first being home ownership. I remember growing up and graduating from college, both my undergrad and master's degree, and being able to purchase a condo. If you look at the Boston area in general, and I talk about all the way out in Boston, right? You could probably go as far out as Worcester. And there are very few opportunities for people to own their own resident, particularly as a young adult. You're building wealth, you're trying to grow and establish yourself, and there are very few opportunities to do that. I'll switch hats now and talk about being a business owner here in Needham. It's always great to see folks that have seen us start with our small little, 1,200 square feet and now being close to 2,500 square feet. But what it takes for us to continue to grow and to continue to be an important contributor to the neighborhood is being able to have people that can, one, work here, but also have two, people that can buy our products and goods. People that actually live in these small little communities, they're able to support the businesses. It creates a very vibrant downtown that gives us the foot traffic that we need in order to create the masses and not really depend upon reaching out to others in order to be alive.
I think access to housing is so important in our town, partially because it's my own future and the future of my peers, because if we continue the path that we're on, I just think no one around me will be able to afford to come back after college or whatever our plans are after high school and buy our own homes or continue upkeep in the homes that we're already in. And I think that we deserve that opportunity. My teachers, most of them cannot afford to live in Needham or any town nearby. Also, healthcare workers, nurses, small business owners, and just younger families in general. It's so difficult for them to come to towns like these. And I think that just shouldn't be the case. Diversity is so important in every community, but I'm learning about redlining and everything that was happening in the 1950s and 60s in history class right now, and all of my peers are as well. And it's so frustrating to learn about what was happening back then and how much inequity there was in housing and how that added to racial inequities, and just acting like it's not happening now it's just unbelievable to me. And I think that we need to be really aware of our history, and by supporting affordable housing opportunity in Needham, we can work towards getting rid of some of that inequality. So I think that's really, really important. I think also a lot of students and my peers, we take advantage of how stable our living environments are. Needham is such a safe community, and not everyone has access to the opportunities that we do. And I think that a lot of the time we forget how lucky we are to have that stability, and creating more opportunity for people to come to Needham is so important. And I think every kid should have access to that same stability in their education and just at home and in their community in general. And I think affordable housing is how we do that. Yeah.
My name is Geoff Engler. I'm a managing principal in the firm Strategic Land Ventures. I'm also an affordable housing consultant under the umbrella of SEB LLC. I've been doing multifamily mixed income residential housing in Massachusetts for approximately 20 years or so. From a real estate developer perspective, this is an exciting opportunity But even should this zoning pass, which I hope it does, and the neighborhood housing plan become a thing of reality, getting development built under that plan is inherently difficult and will remain so, and that's just the nature of real estate development. I think there's a lot of, or at least some, concern that will change the character of Needham substantially or significantly. And as a resident of Needham, obviously that's near and dear to my heart. I think Needham will benefit and recognize a lot of different types of developments, but I think it will take place over, a sustained period of time and not be a mad dash where all of a sudden all things are moving at the same time and there's 49 different developments going on at once. That's not going to happen. This opportunity will definitely be appealing to various real estate developers in the development community in general. And I'm optimistic that there will be development that occurs and some exciting projects and what I hope to be an interesting mix and diversity of different types of projects, some very high density projects, some more townhouse type projects. And that will create and make for an even more interesting community in Needham, because right now Needham is very good at building big, expensive single-family houses, but candidly not much else. Every day there's more articles being written about the migration of people leaving Massachusetts, young people, empty nesters, every demographic, because housing in Massachusetts is so expensive and housing in Massachusetts is scarce. And they both go together. So until we as a Commonwealth, Needham being a municipality within it, takes this concern and this challenge more seriously, that's going to continue, and housing prices are only going to continue to escalate, and people will only continue to leave Massachusetts to go to places like North Carolina or Arizona, or you pick the state where the cost of living is cheaper.
My name is Amy. I'm a Needham resident, a mom, a community banker, and someone that cares about affordable housing. And the reason I care about it is I think about the environment that my son is going to grow up in. I want it to be balanced, I want it to be diverse, and I want him to not live in a complete bubble. So the other day, I went to grab a sandwich totally on a whim, and I started talking with the woman who owned the deli and the woman standing at the counter, and we realized we had all these similarities. I was from New York, she was from New York, we both had 7-year-olds at Newman. And I said, oh my gosh, who is your kid? And she shared with me who her daughter was. And believe it or not, her daughter was in my class. And I said, oh my gosh, this is great, let's get together. Let's have a play date. And I noticed that her body kind of shifted and she said, okay. And I said, oh, where do you live? And she said, Needham Housing. And later I reflected on that, because usually when someone says, hey, where do you live? You think about a street. And to me, when I think about another mom who's just like me, and that was her answer, it lets me know that people still carry a stigma around this. And that's not needed in today's time. I want to make that better for her. And I want to help other people in our community feel more balanced and have more housing options. As a community banker and someone that has dedicated her career to working low, moderate income and focusing on affordable housing, I'm not even doing the business in my backyard. I look at the robust systems that are out there for housing and how we help people get into sustainable, whether it's rental or even home ownership opportunities. And when I look at where I've actually spent most of my efforts, it's in places like Boston. It's in more what you call gateway cities. That's where you see more opportunity. But when you start to look at other towns and you look at the numbers and the percentages of actual affordable housing opportunities, the numbers are so dismal that when someone said to me, how much do you do in Needham? Like, how much affordable business are you doing? I laughed and cried almost, because it was none. I haven't had that opportunity yet to work on a home ownership opportunity, and we should be doing more of that. So many people talk about home ownership as a way to work against the disparities and the gaps, right? The wealth gaps. We love this town, we can do better. We can all come together and actually do it. I've seen it happen in other towns, and there's no reason you can't model that out. When I think about Needham today and the Needham I want to see in the future, it does have a more diverse environment. And what I mean by that diversity is socioeconomic, different incomes, different cultures, different languages, all of it. All of it. That's the beauty of, let's call it the melting pot. It's all the categories. But with housing, we often see it focus on socioeconomic. We know the trend right now, and it's not sustainable. We really need to think about entry-level housing, mid-size housing, downsize, again, all of it. It all needs to come together if we're going to make Needham what we want.